Everything we have is just really, really not nice on skin. And this stuff is. Our medical therapies are so harsh and they're so severe, and they're not really appropriate for probably 80% of the people who come in the door.
That's right.
This stuff is appropriate for anybody.
Tell me, how did you learn of Flawlessly Yours, and what motivated you most to use it?
Being an enthusiast of entrepreneurship, wanting to support a business, I bought some soap. So I took some home, I washed my face with it and went to bed, and I was just kind of blown away. Mostly it was the astringency. I think it was, I'd never had a product kind of leave my skin tight against my bones before.
Yes.
So anyway, that was my first experience with it. I didn't really use it for skin conditions per se.
But you did have one skin
I
condition.
did, yes. I did have on the back of my hand, I had an actinic keratosis, which is a benign skin lesion. Had been there for about 10 years, about the size of the end of a eraser on a lead pencil, I would say. I had cauterized it off probably 6 or 7 times. I finally got sick of it, and I asked a surgeon friend of mine to cut it off, which he did. Of course, it grew back. And so I just started rubbing the soap on it, just full strength before I went to bed at night. And I did that for probably 6 weeks.
And you didn't rinse it off, you just put it on?
Yeah, I just put it on, left it, and went to bed, and there it isn't.
Tell us some of your other experiences in sharing this product.
One of the nurses I work with has a young boy who's 17, 18, and I was talking to her about the soap, and she said, "Oh, give me some for my son." So he started using it, and about 2 weeks later, she said, "My son came downstairs this morning and said he'd always worn his hair over his face, and he came down, he had his hair pinned back." And she didn't say anything, but she realized that he was ready to show his face now. I thought that was cool.
Do you have any other interesting stories that I have not recalled?
I am impressed, I say, with only the one case I've seen that you know, the one case of psoriasis, in terms of just removing the snow from the lesions and the thinning of those plaques and the debridement of the plaque is really impressive to see. And anyone with psoriasis, I would really, really encourage them to use it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your time today, Dr. Earl.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks again.
I did have a bad reaction to a product a number of years ago, which left the left side of my face not as smooth, and there was some pore issues, bigger pores, that kind of thing. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna use this, and I did use it, and I was really amazed.
You really had a good reaction to it.
I did, and I have ever since, and it did soften and smooth.
And reduce those pores?
Yes.
How long have you been using it now, Diane?
Well, I've been using it 6 months.
6 months.
And probably
and in
6
that
months.
time frame, the side of your face that had those big pores is been reduced?
Oh, a lot. I mean, it's almost as if it just is normal.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, you've used it in several areas of your life.
I did have a place on my foot that was like eczema. And I had gotten a prescription for it. But you know what? That prescription didn't do the trick very good, you know. So I just thought, oh heck, for the heck of it, I'm going to use yours on this eczema.
What do you have to lose, right?
Well, I had to lose, and I tell you what, the next morning I thought I did it right before I went to bed. Then the next morning I got up, you know, I looked at it and I couldn't believe it. It was so much better.
I really appreciate your taking time out of your busy schedule to come visit with us today.
Well, thank you, Sherry. I'm glad you asked me. I'm glad to do it.
Well, girls, how did you first learn of Flawlessly Yours? Barbara, you first.
I was with a friend one day, and she was telling me about this product and suggested that I try it, and I was very pleased with the results.
What about you, Maddie?
I've really been trying a lot of different stuff, so I just thought I would try this, and it's helped more than anything I've used.
Tell me a little bit more about that. You've had a situation that you've tried a lot of things for.
I had a condition sort of like rosacea, but it made my skin really dry, but also really oily in some places. So it was really hard to control, and I couldn't find any products that worked.
Yeah, hard to treat when it's both dry and oily.
And I've tried a lot of different things, but nothing's ever really like helped it. Except for this, it just has made it like the redness has gone away, and it's made it really smooth. And
Your story kept me motivated to keep working on my product. Can you tell us today what happened to you in school, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago?
Well, I started a new school a couple of years ago, and it was when my skin was still really dry and red. And one of my teachers in class told me in front of all this other students, she said, "You're wearing a lot of makeup today. You need to wear a lot less blush, and you're wearing too much makeup." And I really wasn't wearing any.
Well, now you have a whole different attitude about your school and yourself. Tell us how you feel about yourself now.
Well, I feel really confident about my skin. I'll go out of the house without any makeup on.
Have any of you received compliments on your skin since you've been using this?
I do.
You both want to talk at the same time.
Well,
Now you too can make every morning feel like Christmas morning with the gift you give yourself. Lovely, flawless skin, hair, and pets.